What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Hangin with Matty D. It is almost 7 o'clock on a Thursday night in sunny San Diego. The sun's been out lately. But I have a lady in the house who does something amazing for man's best friend, I guess you could say. She's pretty well known here in San Diego with a pretty well-known rescue. We have actually a friend who adopted from you guys a couple of years back. Oh. But we have Miss Stephanie, is it Nisan?
Nissan
Like the car? Okay, I didn't know because there's only one S. But Stephanie Nisan, she's a co-founder of the Animal Pad here in San Diego. But before we get into anything more, guys, if you could, subscribe, like us, write reviews, give us some stars on iTunes or whatever it is. Help us out a little bit. But, Stephanie, thank you for gracing us with your presence tonight. I'm glad
Thank you for having me. Yes. I'm stoked to be here.
I know. We were talking about your husband before with how he knew one of our, what is it?
He's the technology that is licensed by one of your guests.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I'm drinking kombucha. I don't know who I am right now. But, so let's get into it. So you're a native from San Diego.
I am. Okay. A rare one.
Where'd you grow up in San Diego?
La Jolla.
Oh, okay. Nice.
La Jolla High School on Muirlands. Okay. And then when I turned 18, I couldn't get out of there fast enough and went to Hillcrest and never looked back.
Did you go to college or no?
I went to San Diego State.
Oh, so you're local.
Yeah.
Yeah, you stayed local. That's like the other guy I had on too. He was he stayed super local too.
Why would you leave?
It's hard.
It's impossible.
I feel like though if you grow up here, you don't get an itch to get out.
Well, and we've got Mexico.
Yeah,
so,
I guess you're right.
You know what I mean? So, like, we were in another country, like, every weekend growing up, partying, and, so...
Did you guys go down there a lot?
All the time.
Yeah.
I was actually a club promoter in Tijuana.
In TJ?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That must have been fun.
That was a lot of fun. Those are the best years of my life, actually.
Yeah. So, you graduated from State.
Yep.
You moved to Hillcrest. And
Yep.
never looked back.
Never
So, you've always been a dog person?
Always. Always been an animal person, pretty much like a lifelong vegetarian.
Okay.
Dogs have always been, obviously, a huge passion of mine, and I knew that I wanted to do something with them. Ideally, would love to have a sanctuary.
Okay.
Where I could just have acres and acres of land, and the dogs that don't get adopted live their lives out with us. But that's nearly impossible in San Diego County.
Okay.
With zoning, I'm a full-time real estate broker, and it's something I've been looking into for years. But zoning's so tough. You need kennel permits. You need.
I bet.
It's crazy. So you got to be like really on the super outskirts of San Diego.
So what sparked this?
Just a passion and a love for animals. And, in 2010, when I started, we were rescuing primarily from the high kill shelters in Southern California.
Is there a lot around?
A lot. Well, so San Bernardino County.
That's like, we're like up by Riverside?
Well, it's like 2 hours. It's like on the way to Palm Springs.
Okay.
Up to 215. They've got some of the highest kill rates in the nation. Like,
really?
I mean, they're killing dogs like left and right. Adoptable, they don't even care. Puppy, they don't care. They're just killing. Same thing with a lot of the pounds in LA County. So we were rescuing heavily from those shelters. And then thankfully they became there was a lot more rescues that got involved with the shelter system, and felt pretty confident that, they're in good hands. And my attention got turned to the streets of Mexico. And obviously being a San Diego native and being a former club owner in TJ, I was aware of the street dogs, but not really, so in depth. So about 4, maybe 5 years ago, we started rescuing primarily from Mexico.
So let's go. I want to go back to the kill shelter. So what qualifies a place to be how do they become a kill shelter?
They're all kill shelters, really. Even our local ones say that they don't kill, they kill.
Okay.
When
you say kill, you mean like euthanize, like put them to sleep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They're not like bludgeoning them to death.
I feel like kill is such a harsh word.
It is a harsh word, but it's a harsh action. They're killing these dogs.
It is. It really is.
So, but at least, I get a lot of shit because people are like, well, why aren't you rescuing in our backyard? And why are you going to another country, Mexico, to rescue? A, it's in our backyard, literally.
Yeah.
B, at least the dogs in the shelters are humanely euthanized. In Mexico, they don't have that luxury.
Yeah, they just die on the street.
They die miserable deaths on the street. And, some say this is a myth. I know firsthand that it's not, that a lot of the animal control, quote unquote, in Mexico is done by electrocuting dogs to death with car batteries.
Oh, wow.
So now things are changing, thank goodness.
Yeah,
more people are getting more involved, but down there's a really bizarre mentality of they don't want to spay and neuter their dogs. They think it's taking away their manhood or whatever. They don't believe in birth control, essentially. And that's the problem, because these dogs just keep breeding and breeding and breeding and breeding on the streets. And between that and selling them to the tourists in the borderline, if you've ever been in the borderline, and there's, oh my, it's a huge problem.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
So, they don't have it very easy in Mexico. And I would much rather, if they were being euthanized there humanely, it'd be a little bit of a different story. Down there, it's the survival of the fittest.
So now, when they get to kill shelter, I think there was like a Netflix documentary or something I watched. I think it was about, or something I watched it was regarding it. I think it was an L.A. County thing, and it was saying if a dog doesn't get adopted within like 7 days, they go down because they just keep ushering them in because there's no space for them. So now. I don't want to say like anybody's name, so I don't want to put anybody on blast or anything like that. But so if people rescue from a kill shelter, right? So like do you bring them back to your house, or do you already have a foster waiting for them?
So we're 100% foster based.
Okay.
I personally cannot foster because I have a dog from Downey, a very high kill shelter in LA.
Okay.
That I rescued 11 years ago, who was a former bait dog.
Which means, so in pit bull fighting, what they do is they have a bait dog. So they tape the bait dog's mouth shut, and they let the other dogs attack that dog to build their confidence, because he's obviously not fighting back. So so it helps build their confidence for these fights. That's a thing?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Hello, Michael Vick. Like, this was what he did.
Wait, so they set dogs up like that to specifically just be attacked.
So build the confidence of the fighting dog.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's what your dog was.
And he's an asshole towards other dogs. Okay. I get it. He's an asshole to people too.
I mean, I would be
right.
too.
I mean, he also, when we got him, he had cigarette burns on his stomach.
Our friends that just adopted a dog that had a cigarette burn on the back.
Yeah. And these were several. And he's not a big fan of people. He's not a big fan of dogs. So I can't bring really anybody. I have another dog that was a rescue from Taiwan, and we got her as a puppy, and she's the only one that he seemed to really actually get along with, and we were fostering her, and then we just ended up, we're like, well, it's our only chance to have a second dog.
Yeah.
But when these dogs die, I will only foster. I'll never adopt again.
But wouldn't you think it'd be hard to foster?
Of course. I mean, it's hard. This is what all my fosters go through.
Yeah.
It's so hard, but it's so rewarding to know. I mean, literally, when I'm getting these pictures of these dogs on the streets of Mexico or in the shelters, I can't do anything without a foster. So if somebody doesn't foster that dog dies.
Yeah.
So it's getting into the mindset of, you are literally saving these lives. The fosters are the heroes of rescue. It's not us. It's not the rescue. It's the fosters who are opening up their homes, because without them, these dogs would be dead.
Yeah.
So it's very much getting into the cycle of, for me, my mentality obviously is I could probably foster 3 at a time if I didn't have other dogs. We get dogs adopted usually within a month's time or less.
Oh wow, it's that quick.
We're pretty quick.
But you guys don't. Not that it's bad, but I noticed that you guys don't really do a ton of you don't have a ton of dogs. You don't have like an overwhelming amount compared to like some of the other shelters that
right now. I mean, for a foster-based rescue, we're doing about 50 a month.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah, because we have a lot of dogs that aren't listed on the site. They're either not old enough yet, they're not healthy enough, and we don't want to get applications on dogs that aren't ready yet. So yeah, we do about 50 a month. We'll easily do about 500 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. No, it's
That's
pretty fun and
really
cool.
good.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. But it's not me. It's my team. I mean, I have the most phenomenal group of volunteers. We're all professionals. We all have professional careers, and we all rescue full time. So my director team, from my adoptions director to foster director to, it takes a lot of people to make this happen. Okay. A lot.
So before you started going to Mexico, how were you guys just going and picking and choosing dogs from different?
So thank God for social media.
Okay.
Because it has been a phenomenal tool to network dogs at shelters that aren't in San Diego or anywhere really. So there's a team of volunteers that goes into these shelters on a daily basis. They take their pictures, they take video, they get all their information, and they create, a post per dog, and they network that around like crazy, so the rescues can exit the dogs into the fosters. So that's how we were able to identify the dogs and rescue them from the shelters. Mexico, it's similar, not as easy.
Are you sweeping the dogs up from the streets in Mexico, or is
we have a good group of volunteers in Mexico who identify dogs, like, hey, this dog's on the street or this dog's in this situation, and they let us know. We network for a foster. Once a foster commits to that dog, the dog gets off the street. We send them to the vet in Mexico. Then we cross them to our vets in the United States. Get vetting done, because the vetting in Mexico is shit.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
But you've got to do it. You've got to do the shots. And then we cross them to our vets, and then from there to a foster home.
Really?
Yeah, it's no joke.
Yeah.
It's a lot of steps. And we've kind of taken over a shelter in Ensenada. They're a volunteer-run shelter. They're equipped for maybe 40 dogs. They have on average 150 to 200 at any given time.
Wow.
No running water. I mean, they're doing the best they can, but these dogs are starving. I mean, they go days and days without food.
Yeah.
They mange and, all the diseases that the dogs get down there, which is so common. And that's been a little bit easier for us to rescue from, actually, even though it's further down in the border.
Yeah.
It's been, because they're not on the street, so it's very easy to know.
You just go there and get them.
We don't. We have a whole transport team that will transport them across the border. I actually personally was down there with my director of communications on last Thursday.
Oh, nice.
I went down, but it's just not an efficient use of my time to go down there and actually do this, because we have such great transport worked out. We pay them $50 or $60, and they take them to our vet, and then we pay another person to take them, because you got to pay everybody in Mexico. And then you...
yeah, I know, even when you park, you got to pay someone.
So, and then to our vets here, and then off to the fosters, and then adopted out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now, like, what qualify? Like, do you look for someone to be a foster parent, like a foster?
So there's an application process and a home check process. So you go on our website. We try to make it as easy as possible. Go on our website. They fill out the foster agreement and sign it online. It's all virtual. From there, we obviously screen their application, make sure that they're a decent human being. And then we check their house. We do a home check. We provide any and all supplies that you need. So a lot of rescues do not, yet they have 10 times more fosters than we do, and we can't figure that out, because we truly treat our fosters like kings and queens. They're our royalty. They're the lifeline.
So you're giving them, you're like...
everything. All you need to do is open up your home, and we provide you food. Oh, if you don't even want to use a Tupperware dish to feed them water, we'll provide that. I mean, literally everything you need.
Wow.
Everything you need. And all you do is open up your heart and your home temporarily until they find a forever home. The good thing about us is we're all younger professionals. We've got a very cool demographic. Like, we cater to a really cool demographic, and we do really fun events. So I will never be that rescue that's standing in front of Petco with dogs and like a...
Well, I feel like, how successful can they really be?
I mean, I don't know how successful they are, so I can't really comment, but like, that's boring. Who wants to... I don't want my volunteers to be sitting around like, another adoption event I have to go to and sit there with... So we do a lot of fun events at like bars and breweries.
You gotta get them when they least expect it.
Right. And like, they keep it fun.
And
we're really fortunate. And we're really fortunate that we have such a good social media presence. We've got great SEO behind our website.
That's good.
And so that's how we're able to get them adopted. So some of the dogs, we had a dog that we were bringing to a foster that we had actually brought up from Ensenada that last Thursday. And me and my friend, who's also the director of communications, went to Baja Betty's in Hillcrest because the foster wasn't home yet. So we're like, let's grab a cocktail and a quesadilla or whatever with the pup, and got the dog.
You bring your dog there?
Oh, yeah. Everywhere in Hillcrest is dog friendly.
Really?
Yeah.
Good to know.
So then from there, I mean, we had the dog 2 days.
Was that the one that was walking around Petco jumping in the beds?
Yes, that's Marie. Yeah. She's just the sweetest. There's something about her soul. I mean, listen, I've rescued thousands of dogs at this point. There's probably 5 that I can count that have really, really stuck with me, and Marie was one of them.
Really?
And we met their adopters. They were our dream. These are the people that we envisioned, because we envisioned certain adopters for certain dogs.
Yeah.
And they were at Baja Betty's, and just phenomenal. And
they just
have her
like
now.
they just saw the dog and like fell in love with it.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, but it was an odd situation because she was so phenomenal that the foster was like, well, can I just have a couple more days with her? Like, I've only had 12 hours. I don't want her to go home yet. Normally, it's the foster's like, yeah, turn them and burn them. Let's get them out.
Oh, really?
But she's so special. So they got her as of Wednesday. Wow. They got her. So it's pretty awesome. Absolutely.
How many fosters get attached and end up keeping the dog?
We call those foster failures.
Okay. But it's like a failure, but it's like
the best kind of failure.
Yeah.
And so, the problem with it is, A, I get it. I get that sometimes it's so hard not to fail. But B, I just want to make sure that they keep fostering. Because once they fail and adopt, I lose a foster home.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I always guilt them. We do a pretty good job of
So you guys get like puppies to foster?
Everything you can imagine.
Really?
Yeah, we do not discriminate. If I have a foster willing to foster a dog, I'm going to rescue that dog.
Do you see like crazy mixes down in Mexico?
Oh my gosh.
Like what's like some of the craziest mixes?
We've had a litter of pit bull chihuahuas, which was probably one of the craziest.
Like the size of a chihuahua that like, or like really, really.
I'd say like a 20-pound, really tiny, stocky.
Like
Chihuahua body, but like kind of a pity head, like a square.
It's crazy because I feel San Diego is such a an easy spot because, like you said, Mexico is so close.
Right.
So whenever we go to Fiesta or anything like that, you always see these like crazy looking dogs, and you're just sitting there, and what kind of dog is it?
Right.
It's like a corgi golden retriever, or like the guy. Actually, I'm sure it was like probably a. But he has a corgi that's Australian Shepherd colored.
Wow.
But it's like a miniature corgi.
Wow.
So it's the craziest looking thing, and we saw a corgi with a tail the other day. We've never seen it. But apparently it's illegal now to dock the tail in Southern California.
Well, I know about the ears, but some dogs actually have diseases in the...
You can't put the ear...
You're not supposed to.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they break them and put pins in them, right?
They slice them. It is a cruel practice, just for aesthetics.
You're talking about
like
when
dobies.
They point,
yes.
like when they point.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But like certain dogs have actual like hereditary diseases in their tails. Like certain breeds are common for that, and that's why a lot of the docking happens. Yeah. So some of them has legit health reasons, but the ones for aesthetics, I mean, that's
because I know so like the farm dogs, they cut them off because they don't want to get caught.
Right. I mean, so it just depends, but like they're usually not done at a vet. You know what I mean? It's not usually a nice process.
Yeah, because like our buddies, they just got a dog, this couple, and they rescued from somewhere in Del Mar, I think. That dog was from Mexico, like I said, cigarette burn little. I told him, I was like, she looks fucking tough, dude.
Right.
And like we brought Wally over, and she's probably like 12 weeks, and he's almost 3 years old, and she was just no fear, just dominating.
Yeah.
Like, and he loved it, you
right.
know? But I think obviously she was probably in a spot that wasn't good in Mexico, and it was like attack.
Yep.
But
it's truly survival of the fittest down there.
Oh, I bet.
But what's so amazing about these Mexico dogs is they're so friendly.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't think, because you would think, God, all the wrongs that have been done to you, and they are so, because if you think about it, they're really dependent on people down there at the taco stands, at the hot dog stands to feed them.
Yeah.
So they have to be friendly. But it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
To kind of see.
Do you get any that are too crazy that you guys bring up and it's just too much for like the foster?
Oh, yeah.
Is that like a common problem?
Not common. We do a really good job of pre-screening the dogs before because we really want to make sure that we're matching the right foster with the right dog.
Okay.
We want every foster to have a phenomenal experience. Obviously there's some things that are out of our hands that we don't know, and we're basing on somebody's word in Mexico, which isn't always...
Yeah, the best. They just want to get rid of them
and get the
money or whatever.
So, when we have those situations, we have trainers that we work with. And luckily, nothing
too crazy.
Too gnarly. Yeah. Health issues have been.
Is mange the most common one you would say down there?
The most common that we face are tick-borne diseases.
Okay.
And Giardia, which is basically Montezuma's revenge, but in dog form.
What's that?
It's just like diarrhea for the dogs nonstop. Oh. And it can last months, even with hardcore medication.
Really?
Oh, it can be really, because they're drinking the dirty, infected water. And then they're licking their paws that are on the filthy streets, and they just keep reinfecting it's like so contagious.
Yeah.
Mange is common, but we've gotten a handle on it. I feel like much more than we used to. But yeah, I don't know if we've ever rescued a dog from Mexico that doesn't have a tick-borne disease or Giardia.
And then you guys clear all that though, obviously.
Of course. I mean, we have a dog right now that we're about to do a $3,000 surgery on for their salivary glands.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we really, really, like, anything that we know about, we address.
Yeah.
We absolutely address, which I think makes us very different than most rescues. I mean, we spend a lot of money per dog, and our highest adoption fee is $350. And that doesn't even cover...
What's that for, like a puppy?
That's like for, a puppy, like a super desirable puppy. But they come completely vetted. So all your vaccines, spay or neutered, completely health checked, flea or tick treated, microchipped.
It's crazy. It's like it's just great. We got Wally from like Craigslist, and it was like the shadiest deal. But he's probably like the size of this water bottle. He was so small, and he when we got him, they gave us we paid $100 for him, and we got him. He was like this big, and they gave us a sack, like a Ziploc bag full of like kibble. But he literally was probably like smaller than my farm. And the food was like that big. And they're like, oh, my grandma got this dog. And I'm like, it probably goes back to those borderline dogs or something like that. But so I was like, I don't know what he's got. I don't know if he's got something. So I was like, fuck it. If he got his shots right, we're going to go get him again. Because I have no idea. Because I don't want to take the chance with him and stuff like that. But yeah, for $300, I mean, if you're adopting, you're going to spend at least, if not more, that money on all that stuff all put together rather than...
Absolutely. And... I mean, on average, we don't really have, like, dogs aren't typically healthy, quote unquote, when we get, you know what I mean? Like, so we spend, and like I said, there's several of these one-offs that we've got thousands and thousands of dollars invested into, or the dental can be so expensive, and their teeth are usually so bad, they're chewing on rocks, whatever they can find down there, on chains, so their teeth are rotting out of their head, which causes infection all over their body, so it's something that absolutely needs to be addressed. And listen, we're a nonprofit. We don't have a budget. We completely donation based. Mm-hmm. So I really try not to constantly post begging for donations because it annoys the shit out of me when all these other nonprofits do that. Yeah. But I think that I'm not doing a good job of not doing it enough. We definitely need to do it more.
Well, even if you had like you guys could do like a fundraising dinner or something like that. Or...
Oh, and we do great fundraising events. We have a fundraising director, but still it's not enough. These $3,000-$4,000 surgeries.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I'm only getting, and usually on those dogs, we only get surgeries done here.
Oh, you only do them here?
So there's a lot of rescues that rescue from Mexico, and we did at the beginning. Mm-hmm. We would get them spay or neutered in Mexico. Okay. Because it's like $25. It's nearly free. It's crazy. But we had enough botched jobs that sent them to the emergency room that ended up costing us thousands and thousands of dollars.
What do you mean botched jobs?
They're not real vets, a lot of these guys. You know what I mean?
It's like apprentice turned.
So we had one dog not that long ago who was adopted and went in, got an X-ray or something, and a mass was found. So imagine these people had just adopted this dog. Oh, yeah. And they're like, holy shit, there's like a mass. So everybody's free. I mean, we're upset. They're upset. Yeah. Come to find out it was a surgical sponge left in the dog from some idiot in Mexico that spayed the dog.
No way.
And that's not uncommon. So for me, I would rather pay, yes, I'm paying quadruple in the States, but I'm having it done right and I have legal recourse if something is wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
In Mexico, we don't know. They're probably filthy. It's not worth the risk to me, and it's not worth the amount that we've had to pay to fix bad surgeries. It's not worth the cheap surgery. Yeah. So I'd rather get quality, good.
Yeah, pay that little extra.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what you're getting.
Yes.
Because that's a big thing.
It's huge.
We got him done at like 11 months, just because like they said like he has golden in him and if it hip dysplasia. But I feel like it's way more attractive for people adopting to have the spay and neuter thrown in already.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know a reputable nonprofit dog rescue that would ever adopt a dog out not.
Yeah, that
wouldn't include. Yeah. It's one thing, like sometimes they adopt puppies and obviously we wait till they're old enough to be fixed, so they're in their care, but they sign a contract that they have to take the dog to our vet. We pay for everything and we schedule it. Oh, absolutely.
Wow. That's good.
Oh, and then we stay on top of them because we do all the scheduling. So what's the point of us if it's a 2-month-old puppy? Why am I going to hold on to the dog till it's 6 months old? until it's old enough to be fixed.
And then you guys take care of the fix and everything.
Exactly. So I'd rather it be bonding with their owners, the dog be bonding with the adopters in that time period, and then we set them up for their next round of vaccines because it's done in a series of 3 spread out over 21 days. So, and then the spay or neuter when they're old enough.
Wow.
Yeah, all through us, all through our vets. We've got several vets that we
work with
that give us discounts.
Nice.
All over the county. We've tried to spread our vets because our fosters are located everywhere. Mm-hmm. We've done a really good job of finding and partnering with vets literally in every corner of San Diego so that it's super convenient for our fosters. Like when I say we cater to them, we really cater to them.
Yeah.
Like most rescues just use one vet. And it doesn't matter where you live as a foster, you better figure out that. Exactly. You can't make a vet appointment, don't worry, we'll find a volunteer to take the dog.
Oh,
we really, really, really cater to our fosters because we recognize that if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
So it's so important that they're treated like gold and they get whatever they want. So
I remember when our friends Ben and Janelle, they rescued a Chihuahua from you guys, or a Chiweenie, like, I don't know, maybe like 3.5 years ago, Lovey. But they spoke extremely highly of you guys, like when they met the foster and stuff like that. But yeah, they said it was like a phenomenal experience with you guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
We really pride ourselves on that because, listen, so many of these rescues put you through like an FBI check.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
I got rejected from several rescues from adopting before I started TAP, including the Humane Society.
Yeah.
Because one of them was because I lived in an apartment.
They won't let you have them.
And they didn't want to let me. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
People live in apartments and have dogs all day long.
I'm one of them.
Exactly. I mean, so I don't really understand the mentality. I think it's too strict. I think it deters people from coming to rescue. I think it encourages people to go to breeders because it's a much easier process.
But it's so much more expensive.
It is. It is. But there's plenty of backyard breeders out there that people don't know the difference, and they charge, let's say $500 for the dog, and they get a quote-unquote purebred.
It is crazy.
That's completely inbred, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Usually, the mom and the son and it's crazy.
It's crazy, the price. If I went on Craigslist right now and looked for a dog, and say I wanted let's just say, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more difficult probably to find what you want if you're adopting.
Right.
Because it's...
But there's so many breed-specific rescues.
Yeah,
you want a golden retriever? There's a golden retriever rescue. You want a schnauzer? There's a schnauzer rescue. Okay. I mean, and we have, for some reason, there's a lot of purebred schnauzers in Mexico and cocker spaniels. We see a lot of.
Oh, cocker spaniels.
Yeah, and but really the schnauzers. The schnauzers are, and they're purebred.
Yeah.
Out of Mexico, we get purebreds all the time, and frankly, they have the most health issues.
Yeah, because I know. That's what I said.
So.
They don't live the longest.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't see people paying like thousands and thousands of dollars for like French bulldogs. Yeah, they're cute dogs. Don't get me wrong. They're cute dogs, but it's just, I don't know if it's worth $1,500 for.
When there's millions of dogs dying.
Yeah, exactly.
That need homes.
What would you say is the average that they put down daily?
Oh, that's so hard. I don't know because every state is different. I mean, in the southern states, they're still using gas chambers for dogs. They're gassing them to death.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Like, we're spoiled here in California, even with our high kill shelters. Like, we don't realize, and the amount of dog fighting. Yeah. And I was just talking to a guy the other day he's from Texas. Okay. I actually met him at a car wash, and we started talking. I was in all my rescue gear, so he's asking me what I do. And he was telling me, he goes, yeah, I'm from a small town in Texas, and every day you see new dogs lying dead in a ditch from the pit bull fighting, it's just common there.
You want to know a crazy story?
Yeah.
I was in the Navy. I have a good buddy that lives in, a couple good buddies actually live in Texas, but we went and visited my buddy, and they're going to get a kick out of this when they listen, but we get there, I think we drove because my buddy was driving back to Atlanta. So we're like, we'll stop. I'll drive with you to San Antonio, and then I'll fly back because George is there. And we get there at like 7:00 at night, and we're like, all right, we're gonna go out to dinner. We've been driving all day. It's our second day of driving. We get to George's house. We go out to dinner, and we're sitting down there. We haven't seen each other in a couple months. And my buddy goes, hey man, he's like, I'm so happy you guys are here, but I'm gonna need you to help me take care of something in the morning. And we're like, what? He's like, I got a dead dog in my backyard, and we need to bag it and put it in the front of the house. Because earlier that morning, a female dog had wandered up and just laid down in front of my buddy's driveway and just passed away. Wow. And this is in San Antonio, and there's tons of dogs running around the streets there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was just like, I couldn't do it because we had just gotten him, and I pushed it. I was like, I can't do it, dude.
No.
Like, I can't even hold the fucking bag.
Right,
Like, dude, you're such a. I was like, I can't do it, man. Like, I just got a dog. You don't understand. Like, I would it's just a limp thing. I can't imagine. I mean, I know, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I know that it has to be done at some point. I think there's obviously not enough, but at the same time, maybe we have all this fucking land in the country and stuff like that. Like, let them run free, or like give them an island or something like that.
Or like, let's enforce mandatory spay-neuter policies and laws.
Is it? It's not mandatory. Well,
no.
What? But if you made them mandatory, then there wouldn't be dogs though, technically. Or would you say after a certain age?
I mean, I feel like we were still good for 50 years with what we got. You know?
You think?
Yeah. Yeah. There's millions and millions and millions.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really, listen, I mean, there's the argument that, then all breeds would die. If there were breeders, for example, that all breeds would die. I don't care about purebred. You know what I mean? To me, it makes no difference
between a purebred and a mutt.
And a mutt. I mean, listen, people just have an idea in their mind. My favorite are adopters that have only gone to breeders, and my favorite is to be the first one they rescue from, because then they're switched for life. They will never go back to a breeder. I promise you that. Every single adopter that is adopted from us that was a breed snob.
Yeah.
That's it. Once you rescue, you're done. Yeah. There's no turning back.
We got so lucky with him. Everyone we talked, like, knock on wood, like, he doesn't bark.
Right.
He's like the friendliest dog in the fucking world.
So friendly.
I mean, he's hairy as hell, but it's just, I guess it's like kids. You never know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get a crying baby. You're gonna get one who
absolutely.
doesn't. So my buddy always says, but we got like extremely lucky with him, and his temperament is amazing. I think because he has so many mixes inside of him. Because I didn't know this too, by the way. We're with the breeding. I didn't know that like a female dog can get pregnant.
Multiple dads.
And multiple dads.
Oh, we get it all the time. We have a litter right now that we just actually had. It was our spice puppy litter. We name them, like when we get litters, we theme them.
Oh, yeah.
So these are all spices like paprika and.
Okay.
So they had pit bulls and labs in the same litter.
Really?
Yeah, that like literally one of them looks purebred pit bull, one of them looks purebred lab.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And we had some of the adopters. So I'm really into the fitness community, and the fitness community, especially at like Barry's Boot Camp and Cycle Bar and Hillcrest, have been phenomenal to us. Like every day I show up in the lobby at Barry's Boot Camp, one of my dogs is there, either an adopted dog or a foster dog, or I mean it's been phenomenal.
That's great.
So a couple of the people that go to the gym to Barry's adopted from the same litter, and so they all did DNA tests, and it was very different DNA.
Really?
Yeah.
How accurate do you think those are?
There's mixed reviews about them. I'd say there's one in particular, and of course I'm blanking on the name, that has the best reputation.
Is it the one from Amazon? I forget what it's called. My mom got it because she wanted to know what he was. Yeah. And they did his lineage to like the
It's crazy, right? But look at what they're doing with us with like 23andMe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna call it too, but it's not. It's called like the Wonder or something, or I forget whatever she ordered. But we had to like swab his mouth or whatever and put the thing in. But he was like golden retriever, Staffordshire Terrier, miniature poodle, chow chow, basset hound, and like something else. And if you like look. You're like, oh yeah, he's got like his paws kind of go out like a basset hound. He's got like, but like when we first got him, we're like, oh, he's Rottweiler Golden Retriever mix, and he doesn't have any of that in them. Right. So you're like, where did these markings come from and stuff like that? Because he's pretty. There's a lot of dogs. I wouldn't say there's a lot of dogs that look like him, but a lot of dogs have the same coloring, but they're very short haired. You don't see a lot of long haired ones like him. Because a lot of the dogs I feel like that come from Mexico are long haired. Would you say? I mean short haired.
It depends. I mean, a lot of them have no hair when they come to us, and then it's a surprise when it grows back in from the mange. But no, it's a pretty good mix. Yeah, it's a pretty good. We actually have right now, speaking of hair, a half. Well, obviously we don't know the percentage. I shouldn't say that. She's Mexican hairless, half. So she's like not totally hairless, but hairless in certain spots, and then like a bald man, like with a couple sprigs of hair on the top. Like, coolest dog on the planet, sweetest girl named Amy. But a really interesting, everybody at the adoption events is like, what is she? Like, what is she a mange? Like, why is her, like, no, it's her breed, Mexican hairless.
That's
So
a breed. That's a legit breed.
Yeah.
Mexican hairless dog.
yeah.
Oh wow.
And then there's like a fancy name.
Yeah,
for
I know I know what kind of dog you're talking about too.
Yeah.
Like you always see like super rich ladies like
Yes.
carrying them around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But do you guys get any like poodle mixes down there?
All the time. We
Really?
get everything. There's literally not a breed of dog we don't get.
Really?
Except French bulldogs.
Why do you think that is? French don't like Mexico, or no?
I don't think they're breeding them down there for some reason. They're expensive dogs to buy.
Yeah.
But the problem with bulldogs, English bulldogs, French bulldogs, if you don't get them from a puppy and understand it, you have to be on top of their healthcare immediately.
Yeah, because they have like
the wrinkles, the squish nose. I mean, there's so many things. They have skin issues a lot of the times. But I think for some reason, French bulldogs really never end up in the shelters or in rescue.
Do you think it's? Oh, okay. And the shelters are in rescue.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I mean, there's bulldog specific rescues, but I would say the majority is probably American and English. We see a lot of English bulldogs.
Really?
Yeah. Not in Mexico necessarily, but I see them a lot like in the shelter systems when we were really rescuing hardcore from there. Yeah.
My dream dog's like a Tibetan Mastiff. That's like my dream dog. Like
beautiful.
a big
Beautiful.
dog. But yeah. So I want to talk about these borderline dogs.
Yeah.
What is, like you were saying that before, that people on the border just can't.
Hoy. So if you've ever sat in a car crossing the border in the wait, everybody wants to sell you everything.
Yeah, sweet buns, everything. Yeah.
And it's very common to have people selling very, very young puppies.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, to Americans. I am guilty of buying one myself. This was back in the day before I started TAP.
Yeah.
And because you see, they pull these dogs out of their backpack or out of a bag, and you see how tiny. You can tell, like, some of these dogs are just weeks old.
Yeah,
that's
what I think. Now that you say that, it's like makes so much sense.
Right. Yeah. And so they, not only do people see it and they go, oh my God, I think most people know, hey, I probably shouldn't buy this dog because I'm perpetuating them to continue to do this, because that's exactly what it does. And as hard as it is, you really can't. You cannot buy those dogs because it's just going to continually.
And they're going to keep doing it.
Of course. It's a great source of money. I mean, I've heard people paying, $500-$600 for these dogs. I think when I bought the puppy, I got him to like $75 or something. And it was a very underaged dog, and it was very sick looking. And my whole thought was, this dog's going to die if I don't take him. And I think a lot of people think that, and that's the truth. I can't tell you how many times they're deathly
lucky
ill.
They didn't do that for me, or else I would have been sucked in.
Oh, but it happens every single day. Every single day it happens.
Yeah.
It's pretty gnarly. And it's pretty sad that, this is a business down there.
Yeah.
So,
nuts.
yeah, it really is.
So how do you get it? How would they get it? Do you hide it when you get through the border check, or can
you just need shot? Well, so for those underage ones, technically all the dogs need to be vaccinated when they cross the border.
Okay.
So I don't know how. I'm assuming that these sellers are probably giving them fake vaccination records because the dogs aren't old enough to be vaccinated. So, but with us, when we cross dogs, like when we crossed a couple on Thursday, I was driving. Okay. And you just give them the vaccine records, and as long as they don't look
sick, or like
too sick. Yeah, in the Border Patrol is pretty savvy. They know
they
all the rescues that are coming down there, and like they know we're doing good work. They know we're not like trying to like smuggle. Yeah. But again, you need to make sure that you're not bringing diseases and whatnot.
Okay, so they'll hand you like just a fake vaccine.
I'm assuming that's what they do for these puppies, because I don't know how else people get them across the border.
I think that's how he came across.
Right.
Or it was just somebody visiting, and they're like, bring these dogs back.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they had like a litter of him in the back, and they just were like,
I'm sure.
Oh my God.
I'm sure. And isn't it hard? So once you have a rescue dog, is this your first dog? Have you had dogs before?
This is my first dog ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you have a dog, in particular a rescue, it's insane when you look at that dog and to think, how did you survive on the street? Or how did you have a different... I mean, he was a puppy, but still. Yeah. They're the sweet... They're so amazing. And you look in their eyes, how can anybody hurt them? I don't understand it.
Man.
And that's what's crazy to me. I was raised by a police officer.
Okay.
And she had always said, like, if any of your friends are cruel to animals, like, that's something we need to know. Because they're going to be cruel to people, too.
Yeah,
but there's really not enough strict laws enforcing
like
animal rights and animal cruelty. I mean, people can... It's crazy. Like, animal control, like, so if somebody's a known animal abuser, they'll take the dog away, but what's preventing them from adopting a dog again? Nothing.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe they can't go to that shelter.
Yeah,
There's not like a national
registry or anything like that.
There should be, like child molesters. So there are DNA lists, do not adopt lists.
Because you see all those on Craigslist that are like, people will get their dogs and then weeks later their puppy will die.
Of course.
And they'll be
all
like,
the time.
do not go to this person.
But there's actual lists that are circulated within rescues that are DNA, that are national, do not. But those are established by rescues. There's no law enforcing that. There's no, and
it's
there
like they
really
made their
needs
own
to
list.
be. Right. And if people don't understand the correlation that if somebody is going to torture a sweet dog, you don't think that they have tendencies to do fucked up stuff to humans?
Oh, 100%.
Right. So why aren't we doing something about it? Even if you're not a dog lover, let's just look at that aspect.
Yeah.
Why is anything being done?
Is there a lot of dog abuse in San Diego, would you say?
There's a pretty significant amount of abuse.
Yeah.
Would you be a lot of hoarding?
Would you say like, yeah, because I remember there was that one with the lady had like, excuse me,
the Yorkies.
Yeah, the Yorkies had like 50 Yorkies or something like that.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't get neutered and they would just keep inbreeding. And
what's sad is a lot of these hoarding situations start out with good intentions. You know, they start out like, oh, this dog needs a home, I'm going to take it in, and then they get it over their heads, and then it snowballs, and then it's, how can you possibly provide for all these dogs between vet care and food, and then it just completely, that's not all the cases, but that is, a lot of times these hoarders truly, they don't have it's not malicious, they just get in over their heads.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts, but people are assholes. If rescues taught me anything, it's that people are assholes.
Really?
Like, what people do to dogs or what people think it's okay to have their dog live in is insane to me.
Now, how do you feel about people who get dogs and then give them back after X? Or like, so say you adopt a dog, right? And then a year later you give it to you're like, I just don't want to give it back to your shelter. Do you feel like that's the right thing to do? Or do you feel like it's more of adopting a child or something like along those lines, that you took on a responsibility,
right?
And now you're just like tossing it away and stuff.
It's bullshit. And I think all rescues really try to do our best when it comes to vetting the adopters to ensure that this isn't going to happen. It's actually in our contract that they have to notify us if they can no longer care for the animal.
Care for the dog.
Absolutely. And as long as I have a foster, of course I'm going to take that dog back.
Yeah.
There's been many times where we put them in boarding because I don't want them, because owner surrenders are the first to be put down at shelters.
What owners? Oh, really?
Yeah. So stray dogs, they have a mandatory stray period hold. Okay. So they have to hold the dog so the owner can, I think it's like 11 days. I should know this off the top of my head, but I don't. And so they give an opportunity to the owner to obviously find their dog. But so when an owner's bringing in their dog, they're the first to be put down. So, so it's listen, don't get a dog if you can't handle a dog. And don't get a dog, listen, shit happens in life.
Yeah. Divorces
happen. I would live in a cardboard box if it meant that my dog was going to stay with me personally, but obviously I'm a little crazier than most. But I think most dog people would do just about anything to keep their dog. And, the housing excuse is really annoying. And the most common reason we get owner surrenders of, I have to move in 2 weeks. I mean, the amount of inquiries we get on the website. I have to move in 2 weeks and I can't find a dog-friendly apartment, so I need to surrender my dog. And if you don't take it, I'm taking him to the shelter. Exactly.
Get the fucking ESA.
Exactly. Or like,
that's what we have.
Find dog-friendly housing.
Yeah.
Put some work in.
That's the thing.
It is. It is a problem.
I don't know about all of San Diego.
Right.
But in Pacific, it's crazy because Pacific Beach specifically is very hard to find housing that allows dogs. The first apartment we moved in together, the reason we moved in there is because it allowed dogs.
Right.
And I didn't know that through like the VA and stuff, or like the stuff I have, my disabilities and stuff, I can get easily like emotional support. It's not a problem. But it was very difficult to find that. But at the same time, you see so many dogs in this town that it makes you think either where the fuck are these people living at? I know there's like the apartment complexes over here are very dog friendly, but everyone has the ESA letter.
Right.
It's simple. It's I don't want to say it's a get out of jail free card, and I don't know. I just think it's a lame excuse if you're giving up your card, because if there's so many ways to I don't want to say around the system, yeah, but there's so many ways that you can keep that dog if you really
Of
wanted
course. You wouldn't stop at anything. Would you give away your kid?
No.
You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
what they really are. They really become your
100%,
child.
100%.
So I don't even understand the mentality or the thought process behind how could somebody do that?
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You've got some issues. If you have a dog that you've bonded with and you love that is literally your child, but you don't want to put in the extra effort to find accommodating housing.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
No, it's sad. It really is sad.
But it's the number one reason we get surrenders.
Is because of housing?
Yeah.
Really?
And military moves.
They don't bring them with them?
Like, or military housing, wherever they're going to be stationed at, isn't dog friendly.
My buddy, shout out to Nikki, he just got stationed in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And he purposely had to wait because for some reason the airlines weren't letting dogs fly overseas.
Uh-huh.
For some reason.
Uh-huh.
They eventually did, and he's so desperate to. I don't know if he did. I hope he did, but he's so desperate to get his dogs over there because they're just a big part of their life. It's a huge part. They lived in like a smaller apartment than this, and they had 2 dogs.
Right.
And he put on. He's like a big YouTuber and stuff. So he put out on his social media. He's like, I will pay for a round trip airfare ticket from wherever you're at to Japan. To fly to Japan with my mom with the dogs. I will pay the round trip flight. I was like, if I had a full-time job, I'd be fucking in there in a heartbeat.
Absolutely.
But that just goes to show you, there are people, and it's more likely than the people who don't, but that care so much that they're willing to go that extra distance to just be with their dog because.
But that's the commitment you make.
Yeah, exactly.
When you bring a dog in your home, they're not disposable.
No.
You know what I mean?
Some people think that.
Oh, a lot of people think that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and that's why there are these processes in place to screen adopters.
Yeah.
Because we want to obviously prevent that. Thank goodness we have a very, very, very low rate of return.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if they have the dog for 2 weeks and they realize, hey, this is just really not a good fit, and there's personality, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like a year later, or the people that dump their dogs in the shelters when they're seniors.
Yeah.
How do you do that in their golden years when they need you the most?
I got really hurt. I saw something today on Facebook. I don't know the person. I just saw it on Facebook. I think it was on one of the forum boards or something like that. But these people were getting rid of their dog because they walked it, or something they heard the fireworks and the dog got skittish, so it has severe separation anxiety, and he's had it for a year and a half now, and they just want to give it up or give it to someone else, and I'm just I'm taking it in a heart. It's
CBD oil.
Yeah.
It's amazing for dogs.
Do you guys use that for the dog?
Oh yeah, it's a miracle. Drug.
Really?
Oh my God. On so many fronts. So we had a volunteer whose dog really severe seizures suffers from. It helped tremendously.
Food
drops.
or is it just drops?
It's
you
drops.
Put on their
You can go to any cannabis store and most of them sell dog CBD oil. Or online or
Do you
wherever.
notice a difference in the dog?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, especially the ones with bad anxiety, it really calms them down.
I wonder if we should check because he howls and barks for 20 minutes after we leave. So we got him call it spray citronella because it's the most natural rather than shocking him and stuff. We don't want to be assholes to him, but we got him that. But I wonder if maybe
have you tried a Thunder shirt?
No, I haven't tried that. But I'm gonna try the CBD because you're one of the third people to tell me that.
Oh, it's a miracle. I mean, just like it's a miracle for humans, it's the same thing with dogs. It's really amazing.
And it just takes the edge off of them.
Yeah. And it addresses so many different issues, just like it does for humans. Usually, from what I've heard, there's actual. If you go online, there's actual CBD dog online stores. That's all they do.
Oh, okay.
And they are a wealth of information.
Okay.
Because obviously there's different dosing you've got to know and all that.
Rates and stuff like that.
From what I've heard from our local cannabis stores, they've been pretty knowledgeable from people that have gone there for dog CBD oil.
We'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
There's CBD treats for dogs.
I knew that they had that stuff, but I didn't know if it was just.
No, it's amazing.
I didn't know if it was
it's
for
amazing.
anything specific.
Absolutely.
Interesting. That's really interesting.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Well, yeah. That's a good one to end it on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thank you for coming on. This was awesome.
Thank you for having
spreading
me.
the word. So if people want to adopt, people want to foster, how do they find you guys? What do they do? Donate? What do they do?
So our website is theanimalpad.org. The animal pad, like the bachelor pad. We get a lot of variations of people. The puppy pad, the animal pats, so it's the animal pad. .org, and we're real big on social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram, and our handle is @theanimalpad. That's the best way to keep up with us for all of our events. We're averaging about an event a week
Cool.
all over. So this Saturday from 9 to 1, we're doing an adoption event in front of Snooze in Hillcrest.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because there's always a long line.
Yeah.
And they invited us out, and we were like, what a cool concept.
Yeah,
We've never done that
cool.
before.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
So, yeah, that'll be a good one. If you want to adopt a dog, come on out. We do a lot of fitness events. We just did a spin event.
I saw that on the Instagram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you can find us.
You guys are
on
pretty
social
big
media.
on social media.
Yeah,
You guys are
that's
all the information and everything for them is definitely is on there.
Yeah.
But Stephanie, thank you for coming by, spreading some knowledge,
Thank
and
you for having me.
coming over.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Till next time, adios.